Who and what were your inspirations behind the project?
Well, we just wanted to take this sort of place of tranquility, this health spa, and kind of turn it on its head. I think that we as a society, as sort of modern humans, have a real sense that maybe something isn't quite right. And I think if we can tap into that and sort of ask the question, what is wellness? Is it success? What is wellness? I think that when these movies work, this genre works best when it sort of taps into some sort of contemporary fear. And I think we live in an increasingly irrational world, and I think people sense something's not quite right. And that's probably why we're so susceptible to, whether it's pharmaceutical or it's holistic. I think we're eager for somebody to diagnose us.
Signs of concussion, depleted immune system. I would like to recommend a treatment.
This is the first film in over a decade that you've made that hasn't been scored by Hans Zimmer, and in his place you have Benjamin Wallfisch. How was that collaborative process, and what were the differences between working with Zimmer and Wallfisch?
Well, I needed somebody. I really wanted to. This genre, the soundtrack is 50% of the experience. I mean, we're conducting this sort of experiment on the audience, and we're using sound and image to have an effect on you. You're watching the patient, Lockhart, be processed, but you're really the patient in the darkened room. So the soundtrack is a character in the film, and I wanted a composer who could be with me throughout the entire film. And Hans actually recommended Ben, and Ben was willing to kind of suffer through and cook up music as we're cutting the movie together to compose the main theme before we shot a frame of filming, to kind of be there throughout the process, informing the narrative, and that's a big ask. But it's endless iteration getting to this place.
Something in the water?
At the bottom.
I don't see anything.
Did it hurt?
Can't remember.
Better that way.
So the location for the wellness spa itself was, I want to get this right, Hohenzollern Castle?
That's pretty good. Yeah.
In Germany. Was that the location that you always had in mind when you were developing the film?
Well, I had a place in mind, but I scouted like 14 castles all over Romania and the Czech Republic and Austria, Germany, Switzerland. Hohenzollern Castle just sort of spoke to me in a very specific way. It's got that wonderful circular driveway. We're leaving a very rectilinear world with New York, and I wanted to arrive at a place that was a story of circles, and I just fell in love with that place immediately. Obviously, when we get to the inside of the castle, we needed to completely shift locations because it wasn't gonna work. But so we ended up at a place called Bielitz, which is an old hospital just outside of Berlin, and it was an abandoned hospital where they treated Hitler after World War I. So both these locations have a tremendous past,